Right, 1870, good luck. So not played before, no head-to-head score. Opponent has only 68 games, that's a new account. Okay, so the rating may or may not be accurate. It's more than enough games to establish a level, but whether it has or not, we'll find it as the game goes on. I'm just going to bring the bishop up and then come around the angles. Or do I want to do that actually? Here, g4 back. Yeah, let's just take a risk and go the attacking line, but I'll reserve judgment until after the game. Like I say, it is a new account. Okay, what do we want to do here? Queen up is a move to just put some immediate pressure on. I like c5 though, because he's launched on the king side. I kind of like c5, but I might want to castle that side myself. But it feels like a move I should play. And then try and open that file up, at least partially. But I'm just looking at queen up just to pressure the pawn. Oh, and now he doesn't have this either, does he? So what's he done? Just play queen up then and just hit the pawn. If he moves the pawn, we can check. I mean, he might have to play a move like queen up, so what do we do now? Make sure I give myself a square here. There is a check here. Does it matter? Check, knight up, he takes. Yeah, let's play knight up first, just in case of this, but there is pressure here. He's got to go the other side, hasn't he? So, can we launch here? Take with the knight. I want to play up 2, but it feels like it's probably a mistake. Yeah, I'm just going to go up 1 and solidify for now and try and make sure I've got the option to castle. So he comes in, so we can drop back and hit the knight. Is there any other trick there? I might be missing something. Queen back, takes, check. We just simply pin the queen. Let's drop back just so we hit the knight and threaten to take it. Not sure if we actually will take it, but it's an option. I mean, bishop up or takes, they're the moves I'm looking at. I'm assuming white will want to do something like this. Maybe I can risk a pawn push, but it feels very dubious. But well, here now, what's wrong with just takes, and maybe plant the knight? It's going to mix it up in it. I'm going to do that. Take and plant the knight, I think. Or just castle. Do I just castle and go this side? Actually, I'm going to do that. I'm going to threaten to push on immediately. I've still got a square for the knight. Got to be careful here. Got to be careful. I guess up. Maybe we can just chuck the knight forward. It's gone up 2, but we can still push here, I think. Here we just simply take. I think we can just push the pawn here. I'll take back. But we do hit the queen, so you can't just castle this move. And if trade, then you can't castle the next move. So there is a check threat which has been covered. The knight's under attack. So can we sack here? Takes here. Any fancy sacrifice? I don't see it. Knight in, queen takes, bishop takes. I don't see it. I can just drop back and you still can't castle though. I've got a check. I don't like that though. I'm going to drop back. Let's just stop that castling for one move. Maybe knight across. Okay, knight across now. We hit the pawns. We hit the bishop. Bishop should drop back, I guess. And again, is there any trick? Is there a trick here? Takes, and rook up looks very strong. So it looks like a pawn. Bishop takes, rook up. Queen moves anywhere, we can take the pawn. I don't see a check, so I think we can take that. We're threatening a check as well. Well, let's come up. So we should be able to collect the bishop, unless there's an actual attack. Opponent's up a minute on the clock. You need to use your time wisely at some point. We're hitting this pawn as well. It depends whether there's an attack on the king or whether you can defend it, say jumping the knight up in conjunction with a queen. Otherwise, in principle, we'll just take the bishop back. It's just a case of how. But here, if I take the knight, you still can't take because there's a check, so the knight takes would be an option, even if the rook's hanging next move. That's what gone for, but here, you still can't take, we still hit the pawn, but my knight and my rook would be potentially hanging, so knight up, what do I do? We could throw a check in. I'm really tempted by this move, but it's the riskier of the moves, isn't it? Knight takes here, check. Stops your castling, I suppose, and then we can just drop back. So let's go for it. You can't take because of check. And we're threatening a knight check the following move. We're threatening to double the rook up. We're hitting the pawn. So what's happened there? The pawn's come up, so I think we just check here. I mean, there's rook check first as well to get the rook out of the way. But knight check, you have to move the king. Here, we can check here, right? So let's just check. I've just got to make sure I don't forget about my rook hanging next move. So I assume I want to take here. And it's a check as well. And now my rook guards my knight. And now I can come across. Check here is covered. I'll check here. What do you do with this? It's got to be a good move, hasn't it? Apart from risking the pawn. Check here has to be a good move. So you've got two legal moves. And then what? Rook check, knight takes, queen check, king across, check. And that should win the queen, I think. It's got to be queen up. It's got to be the right move. If you go, yeah, it goes back. Goes back. So I've got check here. I don't have check there. But I've got a knight check here now, right? It must be a good move. Again, the knight's guarded, the rook's guarded. We've got another rook here to come in. Okay, queen here can come in. There's check here as well to win the queen. That wins the game on the spot though, so let's just do that. Wins on the spot. Now is there a checkmate here? Up here. Yeah, that's just checkmate, isn't it? I've got the queen there, but I think that's checkmate. You can't go here. Or maybe you can go here actually. Here. I think that's a checkmate, isn't it? But I'm missing a free queen if I'm wrong. So here, knight blocks, we just take and it's mate. King up, rook takes. You have to go here. Rook back. Oh, you can't go there. Yeah, I'm sure it's a checkmate here. I just have to not blunder it. There, it is indeed a checkmate, yeah, because the knight cuts there. I thought it was, but I was risking, obviously, if I'd missed something there, I was going to miss out on a free queen. So if you don't see a checkmate, just take the free queen. If you're not sure there, it might have been more sensible to take the queen if you weren't able to calculate it out and you see your clock running. But let's see what it was in engine speak. Pause first so I don't accidentally start another game. So we have 28 moves. They're the move times for both players. Wait, that's odd. Is that the same move time? That's unusual, isn't it? Exactly the same move time pretty much for every move from my opponent to start the game. Maybe it's a thing. It's the same move times, and it looks odd when you see that. Maybe it's normal, maybe it isn't, but it looks odd. Let's just request an analysis. Maybe it's not a thing, I don't know. Maybe it's not a thing, but it looks a little bit unusual, especially in a rapid game as well. But we played a very good game here. 96% versus 86% accuracy. CPL is 20 and 56. So we're level out of the opening. We gain a slight advantage on move 5. And then we build a bigger advantage on move 12. So let's just see what we did. Took a bit of a risk going for one of these sharp lines, but obviously it means white is more compromised with castling opportunities. So we're just building a very slight advantage here. Then it's round about move 12, and we can see there's a blunder on move 13 with f4. So did we play this okay? It's not flagging anything, is it? In fact, the engine is not flagging any mistakes from us at all. We're just looking for simple common sense development moves. We're breaking the structure here, making room for the knight unless we see something better. But we chose to castle here so we can try and push through because white's king is just simply stuck. So you've got to try and do something. So we're trying to stop white from getting easy castling in here by bursting forward. Queen had to move unless you take there because the queen was under attack. So here I've dropped back to stop the castling. Pawn launches forward, that's an inaccuracy. And now I've seen this nice move here to try and hit the pawn, hit the bishop. The bishop does go back, but we can take anyway because of this rook up move. And here, again, wasn't absolutely certain if I should go either way. The engine might say it's same with both. Let's just turn the engine on and see what we should do. The engine prefers queen takes f4, actually, oddly enough. Yeah, I was looking at that as well, wanted to say, was the king completely stuck? Should you ignore taking the bishop? And it looks like actually you should, but there's not much in it. Actually, no, now it's saying knight takes b4 was the correct move. Queen takes f4 is now the second choice, but the eval's virtually the same. Virtually the same, so it was okay to take with a knight because you can't take here because of check. Okay, now I had to move the knight, but I've thrown a check in. Now I've thrown another check in. Now I've guarded. Another check. And here we've created this discover check. So if we don't see a checkmate, if you don't see it and you're not sure the clock's ticking, just take the queen and you should be winning. But here I thought I'd seen a checkmate. I've taken a risk. If I've miscalculated it, I've missed a free queen. I could be wrong. You'd be really kicking yourself. But as it turns out, it is a checkmate. The king can't go on this file. The knight cuts the path here. The queen cuts the path here. So that was a pretty decent game. So very good.